We're back. Daily Stripe. Josh, Nikki's next credit. Nick, let's go game by game real quick. And then we'll give our predictions for the Cowboys Buccaneers game based off how everything's been going. Niners Seahawks went pretty much how we thought it would go.
Yeah, it
Right.
was close to start. I thought
Mhm.
that I was hitting the bet really early on, and then Niners ran away with it, literally.
Yeah. I mean, they put in a really strong performance defensively, obviously. They could be one of the best teams. And the way that they use their skill position players, Debo looked fantastic. Obviously, Avayek, who had dropped touchdown at one point and was beating himself up about, even though they were up by a bunch. Kittle, McCaffrey, Mitchell, and they even brought in Mason at the end of the game to just kind of show off their weaponry. To me, really, the question is how far Brock Purdy's career can go if he really does go all the way. That becomes the biggest question for me for the Niners.
I mean, if he goes all the way, he's going to be the day one starter next season. Has to be.
Could he be the next Tom Brady?
For sure.
Wouldn't that be wild? Brock Purdy, after all the smack we talked on our Horns Up Talking Texas podcast about him for a year, becomes the next Tom Brady. Okay, we'll skip your game because we'll finish that off last and give you a little, soapbox option. Honestly, to me, one of the most telling games, and I feel like I've been saying it all season. Josh Allen's a great fantasy QB. He's an unbelievable talent. I just can't put him in there with Mahomes, and I can't put him in there, quite frankly, in my eyes, with Burrow. There's a world in which Trevor Lawrence, and if Justin Herbert gets a run game, passes him. I can't put my hat on the Bills right now. I really think that the Cincinnati Bengals, despite struggling against Lamar-less Ravens, but the Ravens have a really good defense too. It's not like they're playing a bum team that happened to sneak in there. Like the Dolphins with Skylar Thompson put up 30 plus. The Bills turned the ball over multiple times, let up a bunch of sacks in the Dolphins. I really think that Buffalo struggles against Cincinnati. I'm not really buying Josh Allen in this Buffalo Bills team just yet.
Yeah, I feel like every game this postseason has been close, to be honest. The Dolphins, to me, were the least dangerous team in this entire postseason because of Skylar Thompson, and they're just so banged up. But they played it so close that you're very worried about Buffalo. But maybe that's a game for Buffalo to just realize, okay, look, we're vulnerable. We need to tighten everything up because from here on out, we're not going to get any slouch teams at all. Like it's going to be Bengals or the Chiefs, maybe the Jags. Doubt it's going to be the Jags, but maybe. And then whoever you get to see in the Super Bowl. So I have faith that they can tighten things up, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. Let me ask you this. Do you think the Giants can win it all?
I mean, anyone can win it all at this point.
I really feel like, and this could be maybe me riding the high. We knew this Minnesota team was fake news. No surprise to anybody. We've been saying it literally all season. This is the fakest 10-plus win team in the entire NFL, maybe that we've ever seen. There's going to be questions on Kirk Cousins' future in Minnesota because at that point, as the ship sailed, can this Giants team, despite not having the weaponry that we want them to have on offense outside of Saquon, can the defense, can Danny not look? They just extend plays after extend plays, third downs, on long. Like Danny Dimes is so big and he's such a good runner that this team could conceivably go into Philadelphia, who, yes, is the number one seed, but Jalen Hurts did not finish the season like he started.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he coming back from injuries, and not really being in the groove. So I really think the Giants can definitely upset the Eagles. It's going to be tough, though, to take down the 49ers.
And you think the 49ers, whoever wins in this Cowboys-Bucks game, you think the 49ers just take them out?
Probably.
Really? Yeah, I mean, especially if it's Tampa, which Tampa totally take down. I mean, they could totally beat the Cowboys tonight.
Either of these teams can win. I don't think either of these teams are going to be able to beat San Francisco, though.
Yeah, I'm just very curious to see. I do think that the Giants get manhandled if I think San Francisco really, depending on what happens, and I have to see this Eagles team with a week off, Jalen Hurts being back, really what I deemed them to be at close to full health. We'll see what happens with Lane Johnson, obviously, if he plays and suits up. If the Eagles have a tough time against this Giants team, I can't be that, despite that being a home game against what we were presuming to be the 49ers, I can't be that confident in them.
Yeah, I don't know. The Giants have all season long have proven people wrong. They've got a
Mhm.
great coach. Why can't he get consideration for coach of the year? He
He
will.
should. He's honestly one of the best. They call one of the best game scripts, despite having one of the least talented offenses. I guess I keep saying this, but despite having one of the least talented offenses in the NFL, like on paper.
Yeah, I get it. Look, there's still NFL wide receivers. Like we gave Slayton praise like all season long. He had a big drop in that game, but like, he's not a number one, but he's a solid number two in some places. Great number three in a lot of places. Galladay's a guy that everyone, was really high on before he signed with the Giants and didn't get the productivity that you'd want out of him, but he has the capabilities to get there. Richie James is someone who also has a lot of good characteristics.
Yeah, Hodgins was great. He was
Hodges,
great.
yeah, those guys are all like role players, honestly. So, and of course, look, they had Sterling Shepard, he got hurt, but Saquon, I mean, he's a top 5 back in the league, in my opinion. This
Yeah,
season, I mean, coming back from injury too, like this team is really good. I think that they're not fake news. I think that this is a really good building year for them. Daniel Jones has definitely solidified himself as their quarterback for the future as well. Because if there was any uncertainty there, it's done. It's done. He can do it all.
they can go get Devontae Adams. They can go get DeAndre Hopkins. They can go.
DeAndre, yeah.
I get both these guys.
I
Honestly,
don't know if the Raiders are going to do it. I think the Raiders are a team that are a little bit stubborn. Like they're moving on from the quarterback, but I don't think they're counting themselves out.
okay. We'll see how they proceed. But if they want to make a splashy move for a wide receiver, they can. This new regime has completely flipped the script on the Giants after a really strong draft. Let's go to your game really quickly. I'll give you the floor. Thoughts, comments, concerns. Staley still has his job.
Well, look, I'd like to say I was surprised, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
At 27-0, I literally turned to the guy I was sitting next to and I was like, it's a nice lead, but I'm still not comfortable. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of the half, Jacksonville's they're driving, ended up scoring a touchdown. And I just knew right there. It's 20-point game at half. Like they can do that again and again and again. And they did. It was not surprising whatsoever. And the biggest thing for me was, how can you protect a lead when you can't run the ball and can't run clock? Austin Ekeler only touched the ball 6 times in the second half. And look, I'm not saying that if he touched the ball more times, it would have been more effective because let's be honest, we all know he's a talented NFL player, but he's a below average NFL running back when it comes to getting handoffs and carries. Throwing passes to him, one thing, but running between the tackles is a whole nother ballgame. And I really think it's a big need they need to address. And there's a really wide free agency market for running backs this season. Of course, there's some guys in the draft that you can go after as well, but you just need to address that ASAP. And the offensive play call was just not creative enough as well to run clocks. Like, even if Rex Ryan said it best, I'm not a big fan of Rex Ryan, but like Staley mismanaged that game in the second half. You need to go in the second half in 4-minute drill, basically. Not like you're in a rush, like 4-minute drill, meaning like you're trying to run clock as much as possible. And that doesn't necessarily always mean just, running the ball one after another. It means getting easy completion plays as well. And like that wasn't happening at all. There were so many incompletions in the second half that you gave Jacksonville so much time to get back into the game. And they did. And it ended up being one of those historic Charger demises. And it's not surprising whatsoever. I've lived through it all. I really have. I've seen the Nate Kading miss 3 field goals against the Jets. I've seen the Marlon McCree interception against the Patriots that got stripped away. I've seen the OT timeout from Staley that cost us the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, this is probably the worst I've seen so far, but it's not surprising. I thought going into this game, it'd be a win-win if we lost, because obviously if you win, you go to the playoffs, or you keep going to the playoffs. And if you win, or if you lose, Staley gets fired. But I'm starting to hear rumblings that's not going to happen, that they're probably going to end up firing coordinators as scapegoats and, try to retool the staff. And a lot of players have been outspoken about Staley, saying that he should not lose his job, that they love him, that he got the team there in the first place, but he's too reckless. He really is. You have to respect the way of coaching sometimes.
Yeah. We just need to see him with the run game. I mean, again, like if it wasn't for the turnovers, they really couldn't move the ball at all against the Jaguars. They had great field position a lot of the time anyway. All right, real quick prediction: who wins? Cowboys Bucks tonight?
I got the Cowboys.
Okay, I'm
I'll keep it simple. I'm not going to give too much of an explanation, but I think all season long they were the better team. They've played definitely some close games down the stretch, but I'm really not buying the Bucks this year. I mean, they're a sub 500 team. I know it's Brady, but like, there's just something about this offense that like can totally be lackluster and not get back into the game if the Cowboys, grow a big lead.
Yeah, they just can't finish. Okay. No, I got to ride. I'm riding with Tom, but I think the Bucks should be favored. All right, Daily Stripe, Nikki Snacks Credit, Josh Fisher. We'll see you guys tomorrow out of studio. Good mornings.